What's up?
Matt, who are we waiting for?
What's up?
You ready? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joanne Ariola. I'm the Chair of Fire and Emergency Management and the council member for the 32nd Council District. We've gathered here today because for the past 2 years, thousands of hardworking New Yorkers have been prevented from working at their jobs that they love, for refusing to take a vaccine that is no longer mandated. Last year, the unlawful vaccine mandate that took so many jobs away from them caused their livelihoods to be taken from them as well. Despite this fact, many of these workers are still being prevented from returning to their positions and serving the people of New York, even though the mandates have been lifted. Our city and state have been spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on litigation to prevent certain members of the FDNY, NYPD, DSNY, New York City school teachers, healthcare workers, and other city workers from returning to work. The government is demanding these employees sign a waiver, which would forfeit their civil service rights and their rights to back pay, saying they must sign these documents in order to get back to work. For many who were unjustly denied the opportunity to earn a living over the past 2 years, this is unacceptable, especially when there is no equity within this policy, because members who are similarly situated were permitted to go back to work, did not have to sign a waiver. They will not sign a waiver, and they will continue to sue. A piece of paper is all that stands between them and going back to work. Going back to work in a city that is seriously under headcount in all of our essential services, as well as our educational services and our first responders. The law department should really add up what it's costing them to hire outside attorneys to fight these heroes in court to stop them from getting their jobs back. Add it up, it would be much less than having them return to the workforce, become the heroes that they were meant to be, and stop being made into zeros by the city of New York. These are men and women we must get back to work. They have been wrongfully removed from their positions. We're joined here by members of the Common Sense Caucus, our minority leader, Joseph Borelli, and I'd like to introduce at this point someone who has been in the fight from the beginning. Former New York City DOE teacher, Michael Kane, for Teachers for Choice. It has been an honor and a privilege to work with each of these 4 choice groups, whether it's Ravis, Cops for Choice, Teachers for Choice, or any of the groups who have been disenfranchised by not being given the same level of ability to get back to work that their colleagues have been given. Michael, please come up.
Michael! What a ride it has been so far. Today is the 1-year anniversary that our cases, Kane versus de Blasio, Kyle versus NYC, and New Yorkers for Religious Liberty versus the City of New York, sit in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals right around the corner here. No decision. No decision. We're suing because we were discriminated against because of our sincerely held religious beliefs, and the courts have not spoken for, actually now it's over 2 years it's been in court, but 1 year with no movement at all. And I'm so thankful to the Common Sense Caucus, especially to Councilwoman Ariola, and of course Vicky Paliadino, who was out there fighting for us very early, and all these wonderful council members who are saying enough is enough. If the courts don't do it, we have to do it in the legislature. Thank you all so much. Woo! it's really quite an emotional thing. You know, in the beginning we were alone. We were pushed to the corners and to the sides. We were called names. We were ostracized. But history, while it turns in a long and winding road, it bends in the direction of truth. And that's where we're headed now. And I'm so grateful that City Council is supporting Senator Andrew Lanza's bill up in Albany calling for the fired and banned unvaccinated workers to be rehired. That's what this is about. Thank you so much, everybody. And the last group, there's so many people to thank, but the last group that I want to thank has been in this since they brought 20,000 people over the Brooklyn Bridge. They've been in this all the way. They were behind the scenes doing so much work on this. We're going to bring up some of their members to speak, but let's just give a round of applause for everybody with Bravest for Choice. And to speak on behalf of Bravest for Choice and firefighters all throughout the city and all throughout New York, I bring up firefighter Sal Maida. Sal, come on up.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Allow me to take this opportunity
A little
to
louder,
first-
Sal.
to first thank Councilwoman Joanne Ariola, our Chief of Staff, Phyllis Cirillo, the Common Sense Caucus, my brothers and sisters in Bravest for Choice, and for all of you who are here in attendance today. My name is Sal Maida. After 15 years as a New York City firefighter in good standing, I was wrongfully terminated by the city of New York. It is now over 2 years since the pandemic propagated a scourge and a purge that turned our lives upside down. We must continue to fight. If we don't, there's other things coming down the line. I want to make it clear that I intend to see this all the way through.
That's right.
If you don't stand with us, nobody will. Please continue to support us. Remember what we're doing for us, for the country. We are holding the torch of freedom. It was passed down to us by our forefathers, led by the blood of American patriots. Who are we humbly appealing to? Mayor Eric Adams, the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, the Law Department of the City of New York, and our elected officials on both sides of the aisle. What are we appealing to? Your humanity. Reconcile this wrong, reinstate, compensate, and together as a family, let's celebrate. I thank you and I love you.
I'd also like to bring up another brave first responder, EMT Jack Lynn.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Jack Lynn. I was an EMT with the FDNY for over 14 years. I was fired in June of 2022. For refusing the vaccine mandate. I applied for a religious exemption. I was raised a Christian. I was baptized as a child. I went to church. I went to a Christian liberal arts college. I majored in religion. I served as a missionary abroad. And then when I came back to New York City, I felt the calling to join FDNY EMS, New York City's best, as an EMT. I believe that what 9/11 was to the FDNY, COVID was to FDNY EMS. I think EMS really was the tip of the spear, bringing people to the hospital from their homes and just heroically every day in person without the proper PPE. I worked in-person days with a 5-hour commute by public transportation to Staten Island. Day in and day out. I was a COVID hero to a COVID zero. So I'm just here today. Thank you for the time to speak, and then also thank you for all the support from the council members here to just reinstate us without having to sign this waiver. I believe that I was pressed but not crushed, persecuted, not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. We're here. We're here, and we will continue to be here to fight.
right.
Fight.
All right.
That's right.
I'd like to now also bring up the president of FDNY Union EMS Local 2507, Oren Barzilay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I also want to thank all the council members for helping us win this battle. We're living in an upside world in our city, possibly in our country. Here we have thousands of migrants who are getting everything for free. While behind us we have hundreds of people, possibly thousands, who are considered heroes, essential workers, willing to work, yet they're not being allowed to come to work.
Disgusting.
How does that make any sense? These people were out there saving lives, sacrificing their own lives for our city, yet they cannot be allowed to work. When the new hirees that are coming in are not required to be mandated, this makes no sense. Let them come back, continue the work that they do, help our city. We're short as is with the staffing issues. They need to come back. Thank you, everybody.
I would also just like to thank all of the people who have donated to the lawsuits, donated to Children's Health Defense that has been in this battle with us in the courts for such a long time, and just to thank everybody that keeps coming. 3 years into this, we got the victory, right, Casey?
We got it.
We got the victory.
We got the victory.
Just keep
God
fighting.
won is the majority.
We just keep doing it. And now I'd like to introduce the minority leader of City Council, as well as the leader of the Common Sense Caucus, the growing Common Sense Caucus, Councilman Joseph Borelli.
By the way, we are growing as a caucus because people are seeing that we stand for common sense, reality-based approaches to governing New York City, whereas some of our colleagues do not. And this causes a real serious question to be answered. How many more years of hindsight does one administration need in order to realize that they're wrong? How much more hindsight? Remember, they ended the vaccine mandate. There is no more vaccine mandate. Why? Because vaccines are not needed. And here we are years later, we have a city that can't figure out how to recruit people to fill the vacant seats on an ambulance, to fill vacant desks in various other agencies, to fill vacant police car seats. They can't figure it out. Look at their recruitment budget. They have recruiters going all over the city, into other states, trying to figure out how we can fill these jobs that we need. And yet, the most easy answer, hey, there are dozens, hundreds of people that used to work for you, they're qualified, that could start working for you tomorrow.
That's right. Take them back.
How is there not any common sense logic that would indicate that people who were wrongfully terminated, wrongfully banned, could now be rightfully and gainfully employed? Sometimes in government we have to figure out complex problems. This is not one of them.
Thank you.
We have a group of people willing and qualified and able to work.
Woo!
We have vacant positions for them. And yet instead of opening the front door, giving them a little pat on the back, saying welcome back, They're actually in court trying to fight this same population,
Disgusting.
the same group of people who've already been adjudicated to have been wrongfully terminated. They're trying to fight them on coming back to work.
Nasty.
Not only is it wrong, it's downright stupid. Downright stupid. And if this stupidity keeps purveying, we're going to keep going to court. We're going to keep pushing legislation. We're going to keep pushing back as long as we possibly need to. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to quickly remind people that what's happening here today is the Common Sense Caucus is supporting a resolution that supports a bill in Albany by State Senator Andrew Lanza from Staten Island. Shout out to Lanza, calling for the reinstatement of the fired and banned workers who were not vaccinated, who said no to the vaccine mandate. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much to the press. Thank you so much to everybody who stood with us. I think that's what we have to.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marlon Bethel. I'm a former detective in the NYPD. I was a detective for 8 years, and a cop for 7. I was terminated on the 11th of February 2022. I'm not much for public speaking, so I'll keep it short. I'd like to thank the council members for their work, and Bravest for Choice for their work from the beginning. If government workers cannot trust the government that they work for, and if government cannot honor the contracts that they have with their workers, what hope do you, the public, have? Okay? So, thank you.
Okay. We actually are going to have to end it just about now. So thank you to everyone. If press has any questions, some of us. Oh, do you want to do questions?
Quick question.
Okay,
just
quick,
because,
Rosanna.
can you just do a brief recap as to why we are all here?
We're all here because the Common Sense Caucus is presenting a resolution that supports a bill in Albany from Senator Andrew Lanza that is calling for all the fired and banned who refused the COVID vaccine to be reinstated to their positions with seniority, back to the same positions. That's the reason why we're here. Any other quick questions?
What's the number of the bill? Do you know?
Who has the number of the bill? Matt. S7466A. There was an amendment to it. Yes. Any other questions? Quick questions? Yeah. I'm sorry, for the press. They're asking for just questions for the press right now. We'll talk after. Any other press questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
For Jack or anyone else who wants to answer, you mentioned you have a religious exemption for wanting the vaccine. Your text bad. What do you mean by that?
About my religious exemption.
Yeah, like what's the religious reason?
Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. The question is about my religious exemption.
Yeah, what's the religious reason for not wanting?
He believes in God. That's all he needs. Yeah. He
Well,
believes in God.
I believe in the. Yeah.
Okay, so yes,
Let's
your religion.
Sure. I was raised Dutch Reformed, and so the Dutch Reformed Church believes in the sovereignty of God, which is, I guess, basically to simplify it, is those who are sick were meant to get sick. Those who pass away are meant to pass away. Those who get better are meant to get better. So it's the sovereignty of God. It's trusting in the sovereignty of God. So I believe in my faith that would be a violation of my faith to take the vaccine. Again, it would be against my conscience and against my beliefs. And that's the extent of my exemption. It's denied twice, and that's where I'm here.
And I just want to add that it is established in federal court precedent. There does not need to be any established religion, man, or person that says what you believe to your God. That is between you and your God, and that is established under the First Amendment. Any other press questions?
One important note on that respect. We have had cases where people have been granted religious exemptions from all other vaccines who were denied this vaccine because this vaccine had some magic or something in it that the exemption didn't matter. Suddenly, someone's adjudicated commitment to God or the great elephant in the, I don't care. But someone who's been adjudicated as having a religious exemption in the past, some of those same people were denied for the COVID vaccine.
Aborted fetal cells. That's all we need to say.
One more question. Why should the public care about this issue?
If we don't care about this issue now, it's gonna happen again. They're going to do the same thing that they did to us 2 years ago again. They're gonna force something into your body, into your children's body, for you to access society, for you to get a slice of pizza, for you to go to the library, for you to earn employment, for you to go to school. We must say never again to that. That's why we do that now in here. Thank you all so much, everybody. Yeah, if you're in agreement with what you're seeing, with what we're saying, with what's going on, call your senators in Albany. Go to teachersforchoice.org, autismactionnetwork.org. These are sites that'll help you find your elected officials. You got to call them and say, sponsor this bill. Get on this bill. This is important to me. We had a big press conference here in the capital of the world, in New York City. I think Albany should recognize that just happened. So that's what this is about. It's about gaining that momentum and support for this great bill. Thank you all so much.